Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Welcome, welcome. It just occurred to me that my Divine Feminine reading got deleted somehow. Clearly, it was a human error. I'm not sure what I did, but I'm going to redo a Divine Feminine reading just so we keep things balanced. Okay. I have more of my decks with me and I'm so grateful. So we're going to do something a little different. All right, everyone take a deep breath and ground in your body and your seat. Okay, Spirit. What does the Divine Feminine need to know right now for the highest and best good of self and the planet? What are the blocks showing up on their path and what are the solutions to those blocks? What do we need to know? What do we need to know, Spirit? Okay. We have serenity. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself, feminines. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? I'm very drawn to the water line. Let me hold it up. You know, that's a pretty high water line, and we can't tell if it's rising or falling, and that could be a pretty sticky situation. So feminines, there's something here around really taking accountability for your water line, right? Which that could be any sort of density in your life. It's up to you whether that line rises or falls. I'm also very drawn to this it's funny because it is the heart chakra, but it's the solar plexus. It's yellow. And I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but it's yellow with a little bit of a green around it. So it's almost like the heart chakra is behind the solar plexus. The self-love is affecting your self-esteem, your confidence. And so you're meant to really, when you can remove any sort of negative thoughts, catastrophizing, any sort of imposter syndrome, any sort of victim energy, that stress will go down and it'll be easier to access your self-love. Your gifts will be revealed in some capacity. Okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. And then we have forgiveness here. Second time it's mentioning resentment, by the way. I'm just underlining that for us. Holding on to resentment and anger is preventing or even suffocating your spiritual growth. Resentment is one of the strongest and most damaging of human emotions. The act of forgiveness in its own right is equally incredibly powerful, and it has the capacity to heal and transform. I mean, can we just talk about there's a lot of cards in this deck and we got these both back to back to back. So another thing that's going to make this water line that's, on its way to drowning you go down is forgiveness. So feminines, who do you have to forgive in your life? Who is it? I bet a few names just came to mind. And if no names come to mind, remember, we might also have to forgive parts of self, versions of self that didn't know better, that didn't have all the information, that didn't know as much as you know now, feminines. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? All right, we will take it. We have ancestral wisdom and we have father's love, which is very interesting. Okay, ancestral wisdom. Let me just look at all this for a moment. Okay, it says, we are your ancestors and we love you. We walked the earth many years before you. We ask you at this poignant time to learn and grow from our past experiences. You are our legacy, and we will keep on helping you as we continue to evolve here in the spirit world. I have a few things to say about that, but let me move on and I have a feeling that we're going to come full circle and that will make more sense. And then we have a father's love. A father's love for his own son or daughter never dies. The strength gained from such love is often unquantifiable, in that it can be tapped into at any time for whatever reason, whether your father is still here or has passed. A father's love is one of the strongest bonds any of us will ever experience. Sorry, I'm a little emotional about that. So let's remember what the umbrella we're doing these readings under is. We're walking a twin flame path. What does that mean in this circumstance? We are walking a path of oneness. We are walking a path of inner union, of inner marriage between our internal feminine and our internal masculine. We have accepted ordination in some capacity in the quantum realm, and we have been called to task, right? We have been called. If you're here, if you're someone listening to someone like me, I guarantee that you're here to do something pretty powerful in terms of unity consciousness. You're here to shift consciousness. Something I say all the time, something that is a pillar of my mission. It's my mission statement that I'm here to support the shift of collective consciousness towards authenticity, unconditional love, and infinite oneness. Now, this starts with us, right? We can't do this out in the world until we do this within ourselves. And so a father's love, yes, absolutely. You could take it literally if that resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can also call upon your internal father, the internal masculine parent, to parent these other parts of self. If you're struggling to let go of resentment, if you're struggling to forgive, if you're struggling to tap into that sort of deep ancestral wisdom that will help you move through this, call upon your internal masculine to parent you these parts of self to get you over the hump. I'm laughing that I just said that, because what's being pushed into the unconscious is support. What does that mean? Meaning, for some of you, it's really hard to ask for support. You don't even want to look at it. You're pushing it into the shadows. You wouldn't even dream of it. Now, hyper independence could be a trauma response. Absolutely. It could also just be a product of a lot of people letting you down, or a product of, the ego trying to control everything, right? I'm not going to ask for help because they're not going to do it like I would do it, or they're not going to help me in the way that I need, or they're not going to listen, or blah, blah, blah. There's so many versions of this. Let me just read this to us. It says, excuse me, people come into your life for many different reasons. Some you learn from and then they move on, while others return often because you need to learn more from these individuals. Others remain beside you throughout your life. There's also a little energy here, again, of detachment. It's not an accident to me. Hold on, I'm getting 3 separate messages. It's not an accident that the feminine energy is, I don't want to say maybe struggling to let go of some sort of pain, some sort of attachment to some sort of suffering. Maybe it's resentment. Maybe it's, here's the thing too, when we stay attached, when we do not forgive, we keep ourselves in the victim position, right? It's like we hold that energy. We maintain a leak, right? When we hold that energy of resentment, it's like we're giving that person an all access pass to our personal life force. We're literally draining life force to that memory, to that person, to that experience, to the thing that never happened, to whatever the thing is for you. And right now, it's yes, these are very specific points in this message for you feminines, but what's coming up more for me is your relationship with detachment. And it's like, can you be less rigid? Can you ebb and flow? Can you return to the kind of watery nature of the feminine? Can you surrender what no longer serves you? It's like the waves come in and the waves go out, right? We don't know the shape of the wave. We don't know what's coming next. We don't know what it's going to look like. They come in and then they go out. Anger might come in and then it goes out. Maybe a little sadness comes in and then it goes out. Maybe a little grief, disappointment, frustration, and then it goes out. And the same goes for less dense energies, very light, beautiful. Joy comes in and joy goes out. Fun silliness comes in and then it goes out. Deep soul fulfillment comes in and then it goes out. None of these things, whether they're, whatever emotion or feeling. Sorry. Wow. Whew. A wave just went through me and I just had to stop. Anyway, what was I saying? Any emotion, it doesn't matter what feeling you're having, any energy comes in and then it goes out again. Now, the only thing that doesn't let it go out again is our attachments to it. So really, we can blame someone else all we want, but it's us who are remaining attached to it. You know what I didn't say to you guys that I can't stop staring at this whole time? So for those of you who are old school twin flamers, like, started at the beginning with Elizabeth Clare Prophet, who was kind of one of the first persons to coin the phrase twin flame. I mean, there's so many different names for that sort of inner marriage, inner union, but she used to talk about the ovoid of creation. The ovoid of creation, from my understanding, don't quote me on this, you can go read her books, but the ovoid of creation is where our soul was in complete union with our masculine. Now, maybe that's inner masculine, maybe that's an external masculine, but in terms of energy, supposedly we have the same DNA energetic blueprint as our twin, as our external twin. And there was a time where we were literally twins inside of this ovoid. And then, we came in, we received bodies, and then we split. The twins split. And so the really beautiful theory about that is that the reason why the twins split is so that they could actually cover more ground and learn more lessons here in Earth School. It's I think so. Sorry, I'm crying and laughing. What a beautiful moment. I think so many people catastrophize the twin flame journey and it's so tragic and there's so much pain and all these things. But really, I just laugh because it's really just a journey of efficiency. It's like, hey, we have to learn a bunch of stuff. We have all this karma to clean up. We're here to anchor this frequency of unconditional love and total oneness. Okay, like, let's split. I'll meet you back here after we, shift collective consciousness. It's a very sweet and funny thing, and yet there's so much pain, right? I'm crying because I have such empathy and compassion for those really walking this path, because there is so much pain. And we have to remember that that pain is almost always a lesson that we needed to learn, or karma we needed to clean up, or we had to go through that thing so we can become the person that the quantum field needs us to be. Maybe those trials and tribulations gave us certain skills. They gave me certain skills. I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't have been able to hone my oracle gifts. I wouldn't even thought of this life if I wasn't walking this path. So, this image is just very moving to me. Look at all of these hands. Look at all of this support that the twins have to usher in this new way of relating, this new way of loving on the planet. It's just very moving to me. Okay, let's stop crying and get into it. All right, Spirit, where should we go? All right, I hear you. All right, just doing a very light shuffle. Okay, anything else, Spirit? What does the feminine need to know about releasing resentment? What does the feminine know? Okay. We have Cinderella. Okay. All right, give me more, Spirit. Let's get the whole picture before I go off on a tangent. Anything else, Spirit? It's like a really beautiful message in that. as I'm shuffling, start thinking about the story of Cinderella. Just call it to mind. Just try to remember, maybe it's been a long time for some of us. Try to remember what that story was about. Anything else, Spirit? Is there anything else you want to share? Is there any other answers to this release? And from what I know, the original Cinderella was a little bit darker than like the Disney version. All right. We have a flipper. What does this say? Fidelity. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me start there and then we'll get more if we need more. All right. So the story of Cinderella, from what I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong. Hold on. I need a sip of my cacao. From what I remember, Cinderella's mother died and she had a really beautiful, loving relationship with her father. Her father remarried, had a stepmother with the two nasty sisters. I don't know if that's in the original, but that's in the Disney version. And then the father mysteriously died, if I recall correctly. And then poor Cinderella had to stay and live with these people that did not like her and that treated her basically like a servant, right? They made her sleep by the fire because, that's how she got her name, because the cinders of the fire, she had a little, black ash on her cheeks. They called her Cinderella. Long story short, she gets a fairy godmother. She gets to go to the grand ball. The prince falls in love with her. She leaves her glass slipper. The whole thing transpires, right? So how does this even make sense? So basically, in the long run, feminines, you are the queen. Like, you are the chosen one. So it's your job to not let any of these, okay, thank you, Spirit. I was wondering how we were going to get there. I was talking and I still didn't know where we were going to end up. Spirit just gifted me this little idea that anything that you're attached to is like the evil stepsisters. Any sort of resentment, any sort of lack of forgiveness, any sort of victimhood, any sort of blame. Listen, if you catch yourself blaming someone else or something else, yes, I know horrible things happen, horrible circumstantial things, malicious things, all the full gamut of the human experience happens, right? But there are always opportunities in this moment. Okay, let me say it like this. You've heard me say this 100 times before. We are only responsible for our side of the street. We could see someone else's side of the street and say, hey, they should do this. Hey, they should clean up their mess. Hey, they should, not double park. Hey, they should clean up the manholes and all the potholes on their side of the street. We can do that until we're blue in the face, but it's not going to make someone do that. Similarly, we cannot control someone else, right? That's the core of this message. What can we control? We can control our side of the street. We can control how we respond to what's going on our side of the street. Now, if someone has a lot of trash on their side of the street and they don't pick it up, we could be mad about that, but we cannot control them. However, say they don't pick up their trash and it blows over to your side of the street and you're mad about that, right? It's like, hey, why do they get to be, messy? And now it's like, now they've made my street messy. All you can do is take accountability for what's showing up in your life and draw the necessary boundaries within self and other. We just had a really successful, me and my friend hosted a workshop on everyday consent and boundaries, and it went so well. And so much of it was the participants realizing like, wow, so much of all of this stuff has to do with the boundaries that I set with myself, not just with the outside world and people and places, but it's like the boundaries within self. It's like how you let yourself respond. Do you let the person in traffic who cut you off steal, your energy for the day? Like, road rage is real. We've all seen and been in experiences where people are really like psycho on the road. Sorry, I didn't mean to say psycho, but you know what I mean? Like, people lose their crap on the road, and maybe because they don't have a healthy outlet and that's their only outlet. And when you're driving, there's a bit of anonymity, so you could be like a nastier version of yourself. We've all seen people lose it. And so, yeah, your side of the street is in not leaking energy to that experience. Don't let that one person, place, or thing ruin your day, week, life, year. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Yeah, I just want to say a little footnote around the twin flame path. I have so much empathy for all of you. I've been walking this twin flame path somewhere between 8 to 11 years, something like that. It is long. It is long because it's about the relationship with yourself. So in the beginning, if you've met an external who you deem as your external twin, it can be really painful. You know, you have to overcome the quote unquote waiting period, right? We think we're in waiting, but really we're not waiting for anyone but ourselves. It's Remember, this path is a path of enlightenment, a path of illumination. These trials and tribulations were handpicked for us so that we can overcome these blocks within ourselves. It's school. It's, we have earth school, and then we have like the twin flame major, right? That's like twin flame life is a whole major in and of itself. And part of that is learning how to detach and be in your own energy. Really, before we can master an external feminine or masculine energy, we first have to master the internal feminine and internal masculine energies. Okay, let me look what's in the unconscious wisdom. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this with some love, feminines. You already know what to do. It's like you're pushing this wisdom into the shadows because you don't want to look at it, because if you look at it, then you have to take action on it, right? That's the hard part. It's like you're playing dumb, but you know what to do. You already know what to do. You know to love yourself and let go. You know by holding on, you're causing yourself more pain. And I'm not saying this is easy, but it is something that you know how to do. Okay, Spirit. Anything else? Where do we want to go next? Okay, I gotcha. You know what's funny? I often talk about how working with my decks is like working with different coworkers, and they all have different personalities, and they all communicate differently, and they work together differently. So I just started noticing that these two decks always want to work together, and it's like maybe they're like office BFFs or something. It's just really funny. See, just everything comes out so easily with these two. Okay, we have the owl spirit. Okay, what's owl known for? It's a symbol of wisdom. I'm just cracking up that this is coming out so plainly. It says follow your intuition. Here's the other thing about really taking care of let me stop shuffling and just talk. Hold on. Here's the other thing, feminines. We are notoriously known for not really taking the best care of ourselves. That's not our fault. We grew up in a patriarchal society that told us to put everyone's needs before our own, right? This is about consent and boundaries. This is why I don't shut up about boundaries, because they're so important. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I know you've heard that 1,000 times and you're probably sick of hearing it, but are you doing it? Are you really learning to fill yourself up? Are you putting your needs first? If you're not a happy, healed, whole parent, you're going to bleed on your children. You're going to bleed on friends, family, coworkers. This isn't just for the feminine. This is for everybody. If we don't take accountability for what's in our cup, when somebody or something, some flavor of adversity bumps into us, we're going to spill out whatever's in our cup. So if we're pissed off, we're going to be angry at the world. If we're sad, we're going to be crying on everybody. It's like we need to take accountability for what is in our cup. I laugh because I just looked down I wasn't going to look at this unconscious because I'm not done shuffling, but we have face your fears, release the power of fear. Yeah, this stuff is hard and it's scary to face our own darkness, right? That's why so many people numb it. It's very common. It's very easy to look away, right? It's very easy to look away. It's very easy to doom scroll on your phone, to watch another episode on Netflix, to scroll. I already said doom scroll, to, literally to drink, to do drugs. It's so easy to do all these other things. It's way harder to take accountability. Never once Never once, and don't get it twisted, never once am I telling you that this is an easy thing. It's very difficult. However, nothing's more difficult than avoiding it, right? You're just prolonging your pain. You're leaking more energy. You're getting more and more exhausted and tired and worn down. It's like the more you avoid it, the more this water line raises and it gets closer and closer to drowning you. We're trying to prevent that, right? We're trying to take accountability early on, release resentment, release forgiveness, because why? Feminines, you're worthy to live in freedom and sovereignty. You're worthy of a life of ease, grace, and beauty, and fun and silliness. You're allowed to never cry again if you don't want to. It's up to you. I mean, that's unrealistic, I think, but you can create and build anything you want in this life. It's just a matter of what are you ready to let go of and what are you ready to take on. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else about that? Whoa, we have a huge avalanche, but I'm only going to take this one. Let's see. We have gratitude. Be grateful for all that you have. Hold on, let me get these cards, actually. I'm old because I make noises when I bend down. Oh, God. All right, anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Gratitude. Be grateful for all that you have. You know, be grateful for your challenges, feminines. If you had no challenges in this life, you would not be called to something higher, but you do. And you're listening and watching someone like me, meaning you accepted, you've been initiated, you've accepted the hero's journey. And so you're watching someone like me to gain support, to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom, to gain maybe some validation. You already know. This is like your second card of intuition. Trust your intuition. You already know, feminines. So the biggest gift I can give you at this stage of the journey is to trust yourself. You know that your situation is screwed up. You know that those people, places, and things treated you poorly. You know that, you see the situation clearly. Your third eye is clear. You don't need eye drops. You don't need glasses. Your third eye is clear. Now it's up to you what you do with that information, what you do with that clarity. It's up to you to take action on your path. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? The second I finished that sentence, my throat crapped out. It got really super dry. Yeah, we have another card, believe in your dreams. Like, here's the thing, feminine, when you hear these readings and dreams, a lot of people think external goals. Like, I have a dream to live a peaceful life. I have a dream to not lose my center for love in chaos. Like something simple. I'm not talking about big, huge chaos. I'm talking about like when you're in line at the grocery store and someone's being like such an asshole to the cashier and you're just like, oh my God. And you want to say something, right? You want to stick up for whatever but you also don't want to antagonize the beast. There's like those moments in life where I'm talking about micro moments. That's one of my dreams, to be able to live peacefully, gracefully, easefully, and be present with whatever shows up on my path in the present moment. One of my dreams is to maintain presence, maintain grounding, maintain myself in the face of chaos. No, we're not gonna, doesn't matter. Okay. Sometimes I talk to myself, so bear with me. All right, we're going to get some of these Rebecca Campbells. All right, Spirit, anything else for feminines? Anything else for feminines? Yeah, Sisterhood of the Rose. Beauty, devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. I mean, you know this. You're a high priestess, feminines. You have access to the wisdom. But it's painful to look at it because when you look at it, when you know better, you're called to do better. And doing better requires action. And that action requires you to become a new version of self. The version of self that can actually do the thing that you know you should do. We have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. Feminines, this is incredible reading. You have everything you need. You have everything you need. Why do I know? Because you pushed your own wisdom into the shadows. You know all of this. We have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. You know what's funny? This is what I really believe. This is what I really believe. I believe that I believe we choose to come to Earth. I look at Earth School like a freaking PhD program or college, a collegiate experience. We choose to come here, and the only way we can advance our soul is to enter into a human body. When we are a soul or spirit or whatever you want to call it, when we are energy, we are part of the quantum field. We are one, right? So there's no really way to advance ourselves until we fragment ourselves and enter a human body, right? When we enter a human body, we have to go through the painful process of forgetting where we came from, right? We feel all the pain of that original wound of separation. And then slowly but surely, the frequencies come through. Our soul mission is playing in the background in the face of all of this forgetfulness, right? And slowly but surely we remember love. We remember what it felt like to be one. And so we're here to kind of like shift something on the planet to awaken more people. I was going to say more. I guess my point that's okay. Thank you, Spirit. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. It's like the part of you that has the wisdom is the part that knows that everything is playing out as it should. And so you're being asked to lean into that. Perfect. You're being asked to sit back into your beautiful golden throne and let it unfold. You already know. It's like, you know what the visual I just got is? When you go through a car wash and what happens? You have to put your car in a way that it's in those tracks. And then what do they tell you? They say, put your car in neutral because the path automatically takes you through the car wash. This is exactly like that, feminines. You are meant to put your car in neutral and just let the path take you. I'm just laughing. That's like the most perfect example I could think of. It's a great example. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else you want to share? This is a lot. Are we really? No, I'm not going to take these. Let me get a different deck. Hold, please. Hold, please. Let's get some self-care. I would really like that for these wonderful feminines here. Let me do a quick little shuffly shuffle. Whoa. Okay, Spirit. What type of self-care practices would support the feminines at this juncture? What do they need to remember how to do because they forgot, because they know they already have the wisdom of what would be the most loving thing they could do for themselves? My friend shared this quote with me and I love it. She's like, all we have to do is nothing except the next kindest thing for ourselves. I love that. Like, it takes all the pressure off. We just have to take the next kindest step. So if you're in the center of chaos or some sort of insane situation, try to just identify what is the next kindest step you could take for yourself. Okay, so we have pleasure, we have singing, which is throat chakra, and take a walk, commune with nature. Yeah, honestly, I'm obsessed with walking. I could walk, like, I think the other day I walked 20,000 steps. I think that's like 5 or 10 miles or something crazy. Walking is such a powerful thing, and I can't even really explain it, but it's like when I walk, I'm able to think. I'm able to dismantle limiting beliefs. I'm able to see my shadow clearly. I don't know what it is about walking. I think as you're moving forward, like the momentum of moving your physical vessel forward also supports moving your mental vessel forward, your emotional, your heart, mind, body, spirit forward. There's something really sacred about that path. And also I'm very drawn to like letting the path take you. Remember the neutral position, the car wash. It's going to take you. And then what happens when you go through a car wash, right? All those funny looking cleaners whip against your car. Like, it's like you don't have to do anything. Set it and forget it. Right? And then singing, it's like, where in your life do you need to speak up more? Where in your life do you need to say something you haven't said to a person, place, or thing? Sorry, this is, thank you, Spirit. They're interrupting me because it's also like, for some of you that have had people that have passed on, you're allowed to still say your truth just because they're gone. Or if it's an ex or, an old boss or people who you really wouldn't call up and like unleash the Kraken on, you're allowed to speak all this. So maybe go for a walk in the woods or in nature and talk to this person. Say everything you would ever want to say about the situation to this person, to yourself, like to Mother Nature. Mother Nature can handle it. Like, yell it out into the forest, yell it out into the mountain, wherever you are. Get it out of your body, because holding on to it, holding on to the resentment and not forgiving is wreaking more havoc than not, right? It's holding you back. So this is what's on your side of the street that you get to clean up, feminines. What's in the unconscious? Watch a movie. Have you been pushing leisure time to the side? When's the last time you've just let yourself like read a book, watch a movie, have a nice cup of tea, cuddle up with your pets? One of my favorite things to do is, it's like me, my cousin, and a couple of my friends, we're obsessed with finding like the perfect cafes, the perfect coffee shops. In Europe, there's such cafe culture. Here, it's like we have coffee houses, but it's not part of the culture, really. I'm in Connecticut, by the way, and there's this really adorable coffee shop right near me. And me and my friend love to go there and sit out. They have these huge cozy couches. You get a beverage, you sink into the cozy couch, and we just rot. We talk about all these things. We go so deep. We have such deep soul, profound soul conversations. So what is this version for you, feminines? When's the last time you let yourself binge a show or, go get your hair done, your nails done, do something that makes you feel good? When's the last time you just like had a night to yourself? If some of you are parents, I bet that's pretty rare, what's preventing you from doing it? Really, what's preventing you from asking for, wait, where is it? Didn't we have a support card? I talked about it. Where the heck is it? Follow your intuition. I can't find it, but I know I talked about that. We did have a support card. Oh, right here. Thank you, Spirit. Thanks for telling me to look up. You're pushing support into the shadows, meaning I know you have more support than you think you do. You have more support than you let yourself ask for. So maybe maybe ask your sister or your mother or a friend to come, or another friend, like your kid's friend's mother, to come and watch your kids while you take a bath, while you go to the movies by yourself, while you go sit at a bar by yourself, while you go sit at a coffee shop or go for a walk. Lean on people. Don't sit there quietly swallowing your pain. Reach out for support. And if you can't reach out physically for support, ask God for support. Ask your ancestors. Ask the universe. Help me find a way through this, Spirit. Like, help me, your angels, your soul God, your spirit guides. There's so many people at your disposal, people and energies at your disposal to help you take care of yourself, feminines. All right, let's just get a couple goddess cards and then I'll get an affirmation. We'll call it a day. We have surrender. Yep. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Okay, thank you. I'm very drawn. I don't know if you could see, but there's a baby nursing. And these have a lot of Egyptian iconography on them. I mean, you could see the hieroglyphics, you could see the Eye of Horus, but also there's an Eye of Horus on the headdress of this baby. It's almost like this baby might be like a pharaoh or a king or something. And there's something about this wonderful, beautiful mother goddess as God. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I got the message now. Feminines, you get to nurse from the divine. You get to gain all of that nourishment and sustenance from the divine. It's there for your taking. You just have to claim it. You just have to let yourself surrender and receive it. When you do, you will liberate a piece of your feminine, the goddess version of feminine that loves to receive, that revels in receiving, right? The feminine energy naturally sits on her throne and magnetizes what she needs to her. She doesn't leave her throne. She doesn't leave her castle. She doesn't leave her kingdom. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to, because her energy reaches far and wide. Anything else, Spirit? What does that say? Seasons. Yep. Honor that this is just a season. If you're going through... Is that another egg or is that a gem? I can't tell. Can you guys tell? It looks like another egg. Sorry, I love when I see eggs in these cards because they're kind of rare. What was I saying? Oh, seasons. Just know that if you are in a tough time right now, this too shall pass. This is just a moment in time. There will be another moment in time. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? We get launchers today and we have awakening. Again, I don't know how many times you're going to make me say this, Spirit and feminines. You have all the wisdom. You have all the wisdom within you. Look how pregnant this person is, this woman, this goddess is with wisdom. She's about to burst, actually. Look at all the water, everything. She's bursting out. The dolphins are celebrating. It's a 40 card, reduces to 4. It's a card of stability. If you think of 4 legs of a chair, 4 legs of a table, it's solid. Right? You have all of this wisdom to build a solid foundation, feminines. It's just up to you to claim it. Okay. I'm just going to get a couple of these. I have all my decks with me. I'm excited to use them. Oops, sorry. Hitting the camera. Okay. Spirit, what would you like to end on? What should we end on for these wonderful, sacred, divine feminines who are working so hard to take accountability for themselves and their lives? What would you like them to know for the highest and best good of self and the planet? Amen. Self-worth. Elevate. You get what you believe you deserve. It's time to raise your standards. I'm not going to say anything else. It's the perfect card. Self-worth. That's it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm sending you all so much love. I hope this was supportive, and I'll see you in the next one.